Unless, how does everybody feel to wait for Ted or?
I'd say
Jen
open.
is calling in, so I just allowed her to speak. So that's the phone number
Okay.
that's at the bottom of the screen.
Okay, that's Jen. Yep. So why don't we open the meeting at 6:32? Have you all been able to look at the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I motion that we accept the meeting minutes from October 29th. Finance Committee meeting.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The next thing I have on here is for Jessica to give us a COVID update. If you've got anything new with the COVID.
Yeah, so as far as
Worse.
the CARES Act goes, I just received notification this afternoon that our CARES Act funds were approved. And so that will allow us to start expending the last bit of the money.
Mhm.
Now we have until December 30th to spend. So I have to look through that. I just got that email today, so it was a relief. That report was due October 30th, and it seems like they only have one person that's checking through all of the town's requests, so it took them a little while to get back to us.
Jessica, and then you said that that they have to be spent by what date?
They have to be spent by December 30th unless the state changes their deadline, which is always a possibility.
Any other questions on that for Jessica?
Are those funds fully allocated, or is there money left to spend?
So I had the departments put in a request, and then I left a buffer for the town in the event that we have any unexpected expenses, because really the money is meant for unexpected expenses. So I left about a $10,000 buffer that'll allow us to be flexible if we need to. So that's about our wiggle room for now.
Has anything been decided on the OPEB monies?
So I talked to Alex today about that, and across the state, towns are very far behind on their OPEB contribution. So it looks like we will be putting $10,000 into our OPEB account, but Alex said that for us to catch up, we would have to put about $81,000 in a year, which is very unlikely to
That's
happen.
81,000 the first year, and then it keeps increasing 3% afterwards. It's not feasible.
Yeah. So, but like I said, this is something that almost every town in the state and every city in the state faces this issue, which is why the state made it a mandate that we have to put money into our OPEB. This allows our retirees to have health care. So we just have to do the best that we can to keep contributing every year and making sure that we have money available for that.
Now, where will that be coming out of? Free cash?
Free cash.
So there are no other updates on the COVID, nothing changing or?
Nope. The governor came out with some new mandates, but I'm sure you have all heard about those, and I don't need to lecture anybody more about wearing your mask.
Did the air purifiers come in for the Henry Woods building?
Oh yes, we've had the air purifiers for a couple months now.
And didn't you get them? The senior center, wasn't there talk about that?
Yeah. Just about every public building has air purifiers.
The library?
The library, yep, the library, the DPW, the police department, the fire department, everybody.
Great. Now, Alex, could you give us an update on the revenues?
Everything is running directly as it is. I mean, we just went through the second quarter. Everything is right on pace as it was last year with that, with the levy, same thing.
Yeah.
Next thing up, like I said, is the water and sewer liens for unpaid water and sewer. That'll happen December and get put on to the third quarter. It really goes in quarters with the collections and the revenues. It just it jumps up real quick for 2 or 3 weeks, and then there's a lull.
So have you, from your end on the revenues, have you got anything to report to us?
I don't know. We just had that second quarter that was due, and we took in, all the money that we normally do, same as last year. There is nothing to report, any irregularities or anything like that.
Anybody have any questions for Alex? Okay.
Claire, I have something. Claire,
What?
I have something to say about the revenues.
Okay.
The rest of the revenues, they're looking really good because I can tell you right now that last year, June 30th, our building permits were at 28,236 for the entire year. And that's where COVID really hit us on those because all those construction projects stopped in March.
Yeah.
And right now, our building, as of today, when I printed this report, our building permits are already up to 23,256.
Wow.
So that things are 28,000 for the whole year last year, and already at this point we're at 23. So things are picking up again. They've been working all summer, so that was one of the good things I want as a benchmark that shows
That sounds good.
much better. Everything else is pretty much looks like everything else is pretty much running on schedule too. So yeah, looking good. But I just wanted to mention that because that's a good benchmark for us to see that our revenues are coming back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, you can see there's a lot of building going on.
yeah,
Not just Barre, it's all over.
right. It's true. I mean, even the penalties and interest on motor vehicle, they're up to 14,000. Now we had a decline in motor vehicle for the end of June 30th.
Yeah.
With our problems too with the deficit that we have to make up was partly motor vehicle. And even so, I don't know what the number actually is. So I didn't add them all up, but I can see penalties and interest are up. They're at 14,000 now, and they were at 23 for the entire year last year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it looks like people are paying those bills that they didn't pay in June, and now they're getting hit with interest and penalties. So they're going up. So it looks good to me. Anyway, that's my opinion. I can see some upticks and stuff based on what it was at June 30th. So I feel like things might be a little bit better.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, we're coming up on the town meeting warrant is next. And you all know it's being held in the Quabbin Gym at 10 a.m. And I'm asking that the Finance Committee meet 9:30 just to make sure that there doesn't have something come up that's unusual or different than what we've seen. Does everybody feel that we should do that?
Why
How
not?
do you
Sure,
feel, Brett?
sure.
Yeah. Because
Well,
you never know how something might change just before
So
the
you-
meeting.
So you just want to go early, go to the
Yeah,
gym
9:30.
at 9,
And
9:30,
Jessica,
okay.
if you could post a meeting for us at
Yeah.
9:30 before the special town meeting.
For sure, I'll put it up right now.
Okay. And then we're going to be in the gym. Is there any specifics you can give us, Jessica? That I
Gonna-
might not.
Yeah, it's going to be in the high school gym. I guess there's two different gyms. One's for the middle school, one's for the high school. So we're going to be on the high school side.
No, which is the high school one? The one right
I've-
there by the parking lot? Brian, no, you must know.
Yeah.
That's the, where is the middle school one? I didn't know there was a separate one.
That's what I was told.
Do you know where the middle
It's in
school
the
gym?
middle of the building.
Brian? What?
The middle school one is kind of in the middle of the building somewhere by the, above or somewhere near where they eat.
Oh, near the cafeteria? Okay. I evidently
Somewhere up
been in
there.
there. So it will be held then on the Saturday morning. Now, have you all got your warrant so we can review it and vote on it?
Yep.
Yes.
So the Article 1 and Article 2 we're taking from the annual town meeting. And Article 1 is for 5,149. Is that right, Jessica? I want to make sure I got my numbers right.
Yep.
Jessica?
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up real quick.
Okay. I want to make sure my numbers that I've got down here are the right ones. And that everybody has them.
Sometimes in these warrants, you list the dollar value and other times we don't. Is there any consistency? Is there a reason for that or is it just normal?
I pulled the majority of these. I pulled from the annual town meeting, but everything that I had added, I added numbers to. So the only one I think I did not add a number to was the OPEB account because that was still up in the air on what we were going to take out for that. But I think everything else has a number on it.
Well, these don't. Jessica, usually what they do is when they read the motion, that's when they give the number.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm looking at the motions right now. That's why I thought that they all had numbers. But yes, the
Yeah, it's
Article
when-
1 is 5,149.
So you don't put it on the description, but at the meeting you'll read them.
Yes, because it's my understanding that that number may not be known until right before the town meeting. So,
Okay.
Sometimes that's the case, and usually the meeting before the town meeting will go over the final number and approve that, or suggest that that's a good number.
right.
Okay, sounds good.
But I see exactly what you're saying, and usually we go over it and know the number beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So that these are the numbers that as they stand now.
And they're
The
the
only
same,
change would be that night before the meeting.
and
Right?
all these numbers are the same as they were in the town meeting, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
So the Article 1 was 5,149.
Correct.
Article 2, I have 30,368.63 cents.
30,638.
No,
It's 638? No, because I had 368.
638.63.
Okay. See, that's why I wanted to go over these to make sure. And that's from the free cash, like we've
Well, sometimes it says from free cash, and sometimes you say appropriate, raise, appropriate, borrow, or transfer from available funds. Sometimes you say free cash, and sometimes you don't. Does that?
Well, it's stated in the motion, but these are these are the ones that we're revoting from the annual town meeting.
Yeah, and this doesn't say it was from free cash, but I guess so. You just say it globally, like any one of these four sources is okay, but you're taking it from free cash.
Yeah.
Right, and that's really to just kind of cover our options, to say that we have the options to appropriate, to borrow, or transfer for any one of these different articles. Now, it may not always make sense to borrow, like we wouldn't borrow $5,000 to cover an over expenditure, but just for when I was talking to legal counsel, it's just really to protect our options.
Okay, thank you.
Dean, could you kind of explain these articles that we've taken from the July 1st annual meeting? And this is just redoing them?
Yeah, there was a glitch with the DOR, and because we held our town meeting on July 2nd instead of June 30th, they're making us redo our free cash votes. I also need to tell you that I have a letter emailed to the director of the Bureau of Accounts, Mary Jane Handy, to request that she reverse this ruling for making us do this. So if that, I mean, I think it's ridiculous, and I told her that. So, I mean, we did everything we could under the circumstances too. I mean, I even notified our DOR rep on the afternoon of June 30th that meeting was canceled and postponed. And she never said anything that we were going to have to redo everything. So I have a letter in. I hope to hear something before the meeting. If it comes to the meeting that we have it reversed, then we can probably just table all these and forget about it and just do the ones we need left to do, which will be a really good thing. I'm working on it. So anyway, so it was really just a technical glitch of being overwhelmed with COVID and meetings and 1/12 budgets and deficit spending approvals and whatnot. It was a nightmare, and so that's what happened. So it is coming down from the DOR, and like I said, I'm trying to get it reversed. I don't know. I think it should be reversed, but we'll see what happens, and hopefully I will have word beginning of next week about that.
Good. You can let us know.
Yeah, and I will let you know. Yeah.
Also, I talked to Joshua, and he can do these as a one vote, like he did at the other town meeting.
The consent agenda.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was. So he can do a consent agenda for these, which would cut it out, but cut it down in time. But if Jean gets the word that we can just
the only thing, right? But the only thing is, like the first two articles were the snow and ice deficits.
Yeah.
And the DOR told me that even if we had, there was no way on July 2nd of the new fiscal year could we vote them that way just to appropriate for the deficit. We have to work so that it says it's to reduce the tax rate, because we had, if we were going to do it the way we normally do, which is just to appropriate more money to those two accounts, we would have had to have held our meeting on June 30th, period.
Yeah.
Once we jumped into July, now we have to change the wording. So that should be in the motion, or that it is to reduce our tax rate. It's still doing the same thing. It's just going to go on a different line on the recap sheet.
Mm-hmm. So it would, does that mean the motion for that has to be?
Yeah, I think it's got to say to reduce the tax rate, because it's got to be in the minute that way. So if the first two articles, you're going to have, yeah.
All right, I'll send that over to our attorney for him to word.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you'll notice that these had been moved around since our last meeting.
The
And
select board, they moved them. They
Yeah.
wanted to renumber some of them. So
So Article 3 is to amend the Article 17 of the 2017 annual town meeting. That was for
13.
the senior center to do their vapor bearing. But they got
That previously was 13, right?
that.
Wow.
I think I threw my old ones away.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I might have them here.
So this is a new one that we didn't vote on in the previous meeting.
Right, right.
So should there be something in
That's
there
right.
that says previously voted in last meeting? Just so
What I
we know.
was gonna do, what I was thinking is that we can revote all of these tonight. As we go through.
Jessica, is this the article about the roof barrier, the article that's already on the books?
correct.
Yes, and that was
So
paid
that
for.
So that article should, the motion should be to rescind the original article. And
Yeah,
then
that's what it says here.
reappropriate it, or if you're doing a separate article, then you would reappropriate it. But I think you can do it all in one.
That's a good idea because it's
Yeah,
confusing.
But you have to say that you're rescinding the original. That's
Yeah.
go
This
away.
one,
But this is
When
going to
was
be tied to
Article
Article 14, right? This is tied to Article 14 where you're converting that money into a roof replacement?
Right.
Right.
So then you can reappropriate that money to the roof for the new,
Cool.
it would be your new article for the roof repair at the senior center.
Right.
Yeah, so if you did it together, it would be less confusing, but
right, it would be because they've got it separated out.
They were originally together, but the select board just wanted to rescind that article first and then later reappropriate it.
If you do that, I think you're gonna have to say, by rescinding this thing, you free up $25,000. Because that's an important feature when you end this article.
Exactly. Exactly, because you're using the money for something else that you already have appropriated.
Right.
Is it too late to change the warrant though, now that it's been posted? Can you move articles around during the meeting?
To my knowledge, you can't not move the articles around.
Well, the only way you could would be ask the moderator to, don't they to make a motion to move the article? Don't they do that at town meeting? You can request the moderator to, you make a motion to move an article from where it is to another spot.
Right. I think that's the only way that we would be able to do it now because the warrant has already been posted.
Right. So that's how you'd have to do that.
What happened to Article 12?
That's a glitch.
Yeah, that was a mistake. There's probably about 7 people that saw the warrant before it got posted, and nobody realized that it went from Article 11 to Article 13.
Go away.
Jessica sent it to me. I said, Jessica, they're numbered
Yeah.
wrong.
There's nothing missing. There's just Article 12 just is taking a break this year.
And Joshua's gonna explain that at the beginning of the meeting. I talked to him about it and he said, because I said, I'm sure you'll get a question from somebody.
Right.
Or I had said I could put a front page in that warrant booklet stating.
There were so many articles that were getting moved around, and then there was an article that got deleted, and so. But despite all that, nobody caught the error before it was published.
So that's one we'll have to, see how that can be done. Now, would you rather go through all the free cash articles first and then come back to the ones that are new? Go through all the ones that are from the previous annual meeting, and then we can just take a vote on all of those at the same time?
Yeah, group them all together would be a fine way to do it.
Yeah. So it's Article 1 and Article 2. And then we go to Article 6, which is the Wachusett Greenway, the $1,000. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Article 7 is the police cruiser. For the 45,000. And Article 8 is the new ambulance.
Oh, Article 8's a problem.
Why?
Somebody changed the word from free cash to some mystery stuff. What happened there?
It's borrow or transfer.
Right, I don't, nothing was changed from the annual town meeting on that article.
Not sure we said free cash at the town meeting.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah,
I was
it's not. It always is like this, and then when the motion comes up, Ted, is when they say where it's coming from. And that's when the selectmen brought up. Did they bring up about borrowing, or did they just?
They haven't entertained borrowing for the special town meeting. They had entertained borrowing before the annual town meeting, but not for this round.
So the fact we proposed it, when we said the words for free cash at the meeting, we still going to write the way it is now.
You have to have it exactly as the article was written at the annual town meeting. And it was voted on at the annual town meeting to take it for free cash. So we will be voting to take it from free cash again. We can't change this article that's written.
Okay.
Right, Gene? Once an article's in there, you've got to have it the way it was written then.
Right.
But it will come from free cash.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Article 9 is the Ruggles Lane parking lot, 50,000 from free cash.
In this case, we say it's coming from free cash. It's really kind of strange that in some cases we raise, appropriate, borrow, or transfer, and other times we tell them it's from free cash.
But
Free cash is your available fund in the article. When it says you're going to raise, appropriate, or use available funds, free cash is your available fund. So
this one actually says, Gene, from FY19 free cash.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a warrant, so I'm listening. I don't get it.
But with the ambulance, they had discussion on borrowing it.
Before the annual, yes.
Before meeting.
But we
So that's
voted
why it was left like that.
it, right, but then we voted it from free cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Article 10 is the cable access expenditure, 100,000, and that comes from free cash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, So we have 6 articles that are together. Am I right?
So it looks like
From the
7,
previous,
6.
Yeah.
7.
is there 6?
7.
1 and 2, 6,
7?
7, 8, 9, and 10.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Hold on. 6, 7. 7. You're right.
Sounds like 8 to me.
Looks like 8.
This is why Jean's our accountant, because she can count.
I
She
think
can
it's
count correctly for us. This is a good
Wait,
sign.
wait a minute.
Which one's Jean?
7.
There's 7, Ted. What do you think there's 8?
Oh, you forgot Article 4. Article 4 was supposed to be free cash too.
Yeah, but
No.
we didn't vote on that.
Wasn't
Right?
it the original one?
That was not at the town meeting, annual town.
No, because we didn't know what it was
Okay.
at that time.
So you're
We said we'd have to take
talking
it.
7 for the consent agenda then.
Okay.
Claire, you want a motion?
Yeah, a motion to,
Okay, I'll make a motion that we have favorable action on Articles 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now we can go to the Article 4. And I've got the number 81,417. Is that the correct number, Jean? You're the one that would know that. To balance the books.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, 81,417.
Okay. So that will take care of our last year. We're all done with that, right?
That's for 21. That is not for 20. That's to balance our 21 budget so we
Or 21.
can get the tax rate set.
Yeah, because that 20 was balanced already.
Right.
Right. Okay. So that's for the,
And Jessica, I think in the motions, this to say to reduce the tax rate too, because you're adding money on the revenue side
Okay.
once those local receipts. So I think I'm pretty sure it needs to be reduce the tax rate, but I can probably figure that out next week with DOR.
Okay. Great.
But I'm almost positive it's going to be like the snow and ice. It's going to be reduce the tax rate.
All right. Sounds good.
And Gee, so is this for 2021? It
This
says
is
in words here to balance the 2020 budget.
It is to balance. No, it should say to balance the 21 budget.
It doesn't say that.
What happened is your local estimated receipts, we level funded for our 21 budget, but our actuals actually came in 81,417 short. So in order to level fund our local receipts for the 21 budget, we need to add 81,417 to them, so we're at the level funded from last year. That's what we're doing. Otherwise, if we don't do this, then we start cutting our budget by 81,417. So,
Okay. Okay.
so it's gonna be that.
that's what we're doing.
Yep.
21 budget.
But
That
the
article
21
should say 21, because
Yes.
on the warrant it says 20.
Well, make sure the motion says for the 21 budget, make a correction, say it's for the 21 budget, not the 20.
I'm glad you came tonight, Jim.
Oh,
Catching these errors so we don't end up having to do them over again.
yeah, we don't want to do it again, no. No, the first time was bad enough.
So can I have a motion for a vote on that one? Anybody want to make a motion?
Yeah, make a motion to approve Article 4.
So it's a
for
favorable.
81,000. Pardon me?
It's favorable, actually.
It's favorable.
Yeah.
For 81,417 to reduce the FY21 budget.
Yep. I got a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye, aye.
Now, the Article 5 is the OPEB. And Jessica told us tonight on that one that it would be the 10,000 from free cash. Right, Jessica?
Yes.
Does that reduce the free cash total down? I believe there was 30,000, so that reduces it now to 20,000.
It was at 36. So it'll
that'll-
drop it down to 26.
Yeah.
Was it an even 36, Jessica?
It was like 36,100.
No.
Something.
3656937.
Okay. There it is.
537, okay. So that's gonna have to come out of there.
It's gonna have to say free cash.
Yeah, yep. It'll be coming out of free cash.
Right?
May I have a motion on that one?
I'll make a motion, we have favorable action on Article 5.
Second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Oh, right.
Okay, now. Article 11. Now, the selectmen took off the brush truck, right? That was originally on there,
Yeah,
and they removed that,
correct.
but they left this one on.
Correct. So
Now, what's the story with this one?
yes, so we do not have enough in free cash to approve both the fire admin vehicle and the senior center roof replacement. But the select board's feeling on that was that they want the senior center to provide them with a number on how much it's going to cost to replace the roof, because they think that there's a possibility that it's not going to be under $25,000. So they wanted to have, in the event that the roof costs more than $25,000, they wanted to have a second option in the event that the roof costs more than what the senior center is asking for.
That makes sense.
Now, James, how's that gonna work?
This is the first I'm hearing about it. I don't know.
How would,
Are they still? Are they? Okay, so we're down to. I have my free cash thing in front of me, but we're down to what, 26,000 approximately.
Correct.
2537.
Still moving the. They're still going to appropriate the money from the other articles for the roof, the 25,000.
Yep.
So that's a done deal. So now they're looking at. What is Article 11? Is Article 11 the roof or is it a truck?
Article 11 is the
It's a
fire.
bar.
Yeah, the fire.
For the fire.
Is there an amount in that one? I mean, how much is that truck's not going to?
45,000. So we would be cutting it incredibly close.
Well, you don't have enough.
We don't even have enough.
Well, So the money is going to be taken out of the roof barrier article. So that would add another 25,000.
How does that work, Jean? Can they take
What's
that
coming,
money?
I'm not understanding what we're doing here. Let's go back to Article 11. Article 11 is for what? What is Article 11 for?
The fire admin vehicle.
For $45,000.
Correct.
Okay, where's the article for the roof?
That's
is
Article 14.
Article 14.
And that says that it's getting 25,000, but it doesn't say anything that it's coming from.
25,000 from Article 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
25,000 from Article 3.
Right.
yeah.
So that doesn't have anything to do with free cash. So 13 and 4 are together. I mean, 3 and 14 are together.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah, they're gonna wash each other.
All right, so what, now where's the truck money supposed to come from?
I think
So-
what they wanted to do, Jessica, the way I understood them at the meeting, they won't do the roof on the senior center because it's gonna cost more than the 25,000, so they put the 25,000 towards the fire admin vehicle.
In the event that the senior center's roof is going to cost more than 25,000, which I'm still waiting for, the senior center to provide me with some idea on how much it's going to cost, because replacing a roof can really vary. So in the event that roof costs more than the 25,000, it was the select board's idea that, they didn't want to have to appropriate money twice to the project, so they would have them come back at the annual town meeting and request the full amount of the cost to replace the roof instead of requesting two different amounts.
So they want to use the prior year's article for the senior center roof barrier for a truck?
Yeah,
Potentially.
We can't do that. The articles have to be rescinded and reused for a like purpose. So,
Yeah, not
for a
right.
senior center roof barrier, so now you're talking about a roof, which is a like purpose in general, but to go from the barrier on the roof to a truck is not. So you're not going to do that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
Okay.
Has to be a like-minded project. I mean, you can close out articles, but you can't
Right. Okay.
for something totally different.
Okay.
So
They could use it
I would,
towards senior roof, right?
so I would go ahead and give them move the 25 from the roof barrier to the roof of the senior center and just let it sit there until they come up with whatever number.
Okay.
That's what I would do. But the truck, I mean, you
Forget about the truck.
can't use it for the truck
So we don't have money for the truck.
unless you go to the stabilization fund,
Right. Which.
which
We don't wanna do.
I don't have. We have it. It's only $45,000. If that's it. But it didn't Rob say at the meetings when we were holding the meetings back in for the budget that the ambulance was the most important thing to him to get, and that if he couldn't get the trucks this year, then he would wait.
Yes,
Yes, he
Did
did.
he say that? I
Yes.
seem to remember that in the meeting.
Absolutely. He said that.
So
Whether he means it now or not, that's another question.
well, I know, but I mean, if he needs them that bad, then I would go to stabilization for them. I mean, we're talking $45,000. I don't know I don't have that with me as to, like, probably in the other room, but what's actually in stabilization, but it seems to be a good chunk of money. So, I mean, 45 wouldn't hurt. Just put it back in when we have free cash certified again.
If we do.
but do you really need an administration vehicle? What was the selectman saying why he needed it?
Well, so
He wanted two vehicles, right? He really wanted to begin, even back in the spring, he wanted these other two vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted, wasn't last week he wanted a truck.
A brush truck.
yeah.
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 That was taken off. He had both of those on here to begin with. But he took the brush truck off. and they left, the selectmen did, and they left the admin vehicle.
Right. It's just the conditions of both the truck it's pretty old. It's a 2013, so it's in those vehicles see a lot of wear and tear. So there's a lot of issues with it mechanically, and it needs service, but they always need it to be in use for them. So it's hard to balance getting it in service and then being able to use it. So that's why he's requesting it.
So the only place it can come from is stabilization.
Correct.
If they want that to go before
Got
the
some?
town, they're gonna do with that.
Well, you still got some free cash too. You got
Not enough.
25 and free cash.
We only got 26.
No, I know, but I'm saying is, then you go to stabilization for 25 and you're,
No, because you got another article that needs money, 2,125. So that'll leave you 24,000.
yeah.
Well, with the truck, are we at the point now where it's costing more to maintain a vehicle than to buy a new vehicle?
It's not a truck they're buying, right?
Well, it's
I think it's
It's the SUV.
the chief's car, I think.
It's like it's an SUV. I mean, you probably see him drive around in the current SUV that he has. It's not an entire new fire truck, but it is
It's an SUV.
an SUV, right?
Well, what would you say our recommendation is for that? The selectmen are having a meeting Monday night, right? So we could make a recommendation to them that it's gotta come out of stabilization or they've gotta take it off. They don't have a choice.
Right.
Is there a salvage value on a vehicle like that would go into the account, or no? Is that past salvage value?
We don't get salvage value.
They just take the trade-in on the new vehicle. They don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know how much that would be on.
It
Yeah.
would probably be
2013,
like
that's probably high mileage.
pennies. It wouldn't be much.
I think that was a valid question that Dan asked though, about whether the amount is, whether we're spending more to repair that vehicle, because I didn't think that vehicle was that old, but the fire chief would have to answer that.
Yeah, well, a 2013, especially for a municipal vehicle, is in the kind of wear and tear that an emergency service vehicle sees. I don't know how many miles are on it, but it is.
Whoa.
I don't know if they would end up trading it in. I don't know what kind of value it is, but I know that the chief wants to have, more vehicles that will allow, if they needed one vehicle to go to a call or one vehicle to go out to training or whatever, that right now they only have that one vehicle. So they really have to, in the event that there's an emergency, but that vehicle's out at training, we're doing a disservice to the community members because they might need that truck to go out.
This is an addition.
Excuse me, but that it sounds like they're going to keep that the vehicle they have now and have a new, so they'll have two vehicles. Is that right?
That's one of the possibilities for it.
You understand? Yeah. So it's altogether different from what Dan was asking as far as whether.
Because it doesn't say if it's a replacement vehicle or an add-on vehicle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess it's up to them if they want to do it. I don't know. I want to talk to the chief. I want to hear the chief's explanation before I make a decision one way or the other.
I agree with that, Brian.
Do you want to ask him to come to a meeting before the,
Well, if it can't be straightened out before then, yes, but, you know, it seems like it should be able to. I don't know.
Yeah, I can reach out to the chief and see if he's available to explain more.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's around tonight.
I don't know.
Like the fire alarm, Claire.
Might be a
Yeah,
little bit
and
later.
then he'll come, right?
I think not.
Good thought, Ted, good thought. But I just thought maybe you could give him a call. Just because he, you know, if he's at home, I'm sure he wouldn't mind jumping on. With the Zoom, it's easy, they just pull up their.
Right. I can shoot him a text.
Yeah. So in the meantime, we'll go on to Article 13 is accepting the land donation. So it's beside Felton Field to the river.
Correct.
And no cash involved. The Brown family is donating it and the selectmen recommend it. Anybody got any more questions? on
Need a
that?
motion for that?
Yeah. You want to make a motion?
It's not gonna cost us anything.
No, and they've checked
There,
it. too.
well, there might be some small administrative fees to taking the land, to process the deed and everything, but the town attorney said it would be about maybe a couple $100.
No problem. I'd like to make a motion to accept Article 13.
Favorable action on Article 13, yes, I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now 14 is the senior roof, and then the, let's go to Article 15, if that's a free cash number.
What's Article 15? I don't have it.
Did you get the new,
Negative,
warrant?
negative.
Jessica? Wasn't Brian,
Article
didn't get the new?
is
It's all right, just go ahead with whatever 15 is, no problem.
Jessica will read it. Right?
Yeah, Massachusetts Land Use Planning Grant Match, sponsored by the Planning Board to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer from available funds a sum of $2,125 to match the Massachusetts Land Use Planning Grant or take any other action relative thereto. So the Planning Board applied for a grant back in, I want to say, around March to May, and it was approved but requires a 25% match. So 75% will be covered by this grant, and the other 2,100 will have to come from free cash because the planning board's current budget is not big enough to absorb this cost.
So what was the 7,500?
No, 75% was covered by the grant, and then the last 25% equals $2,125.
And Jessica, one more question. What does the study gonna cover, roughly?
Yeah, let me
Not sure.
look it up real quick. It covers it will allow the planning board to address the natural resource protection zoning, flexible frontage, and other land use planning initiatives. So this is something that they've been working on, I guess, for a number of years. They've been trying to get this grant. In the past, I think they actually did get this grant, but they didn't have the match. So this is, they don't want to miss this opportunity this time around, because if we can't provide the match, we're going to lose the money.
Yeah. So the 75% comes from the grant.
Correct. So that the 75% is about $6,100.
I'm in favor of that.
I'll
Me
second.
too.
Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion for Article 15, favorable action.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
So now the only thing we're left with is, the
11.
yeah, but we're also Article 3, you know, and Article 14 is the senior. Because they're, the selectmen were thinking they could use the 25,000 from there to reduce the money for the admin vehicle. And then have the senior center come back for the roof at the annual meeting, right, Jessica? That's
Right.
what, yeah. But Jean said that can't be used, it has to be like. How did you
I
word
don't
it?
think you can. I'll double check on that with DOR and see, but I'm pretty sure you can.
Okay. But if they can't use it for the vehicle, then they should, you would suggest they use it towards the roof and leave it sitting like they did with the vapor barrier, which is like same thing.
Right. Yeah, I would do that.
So what do the rest of you think?
I think we should keep the 20. Go ahead, Eric.
Oh, no, you, just so it's clear where that 25,000 is coming from. It's coming from Article 3 that you've rescinded. So it's not, you're not really borrowing any money. You're just moving it.
Right.
So as long as they're together, you know, if Joshua puts Article 3 together with Article 14, at least that makes it clear to me, but I'm okay with it.
I'm in favor of putting what Gene suggested. Just keep the 25 in an account. You know, to do the roof, and maybe by the town meeting you'll have a figure on, you know, the true figure. But at least, I mean, that 25 has already been invested in the senior center, so I think it should stay with that.
I agree.
Right, Gene? You can hope you can keep it.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, it was set aside. I mean, they ended up getting the roof barrier done by a grant, by one of those grants. So that's done. So it's we had appropriated to do that, and we didn't have to because we got a grant for it. So I would just keep it with the senior center and let them use it for the roof.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So would we then approve Articles 3 and 14?
And just to let you know, Chief Rogalski has joined us.
Oh, good. I can get that answer. Rob, you're on. We have questions for you.
Okay, how's it? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we can hear you.
Right.
Brian, go ahead. Ask him. You ask him. You know more about trucks.
Where were we? I forgot now.
This is on his
Yeah.
vehicle. Why he wants it.
Yeah,
Is it a second one?
Right.
You know.
Is the vehicle you're looking for, is that a second vehicle or is it to replace a vehicle you already have?
It's to replace one that we had that is permanently out of service. It's been broken
It's a
since
piece of junk. I get it. Okay.
last October and November.
Yeah.
So the plan was to replace. We had it. It was an SUV. It used to be the building inspectors, the white. What was it? Chevy, and that had it failed inspection for a frame rot. It had a big hole in the frame, so we weren't able to use it. And then our pickup truck also broke. So if you remember back in the spring, Rutland 5 replaced the pickup truck, and they donated us their old 1997 one, which needs some work. So the plan is to replace my car, take my car and make that the replacement for the vehicle that we lost, and then we'll be able to work on the pickup truck that we got from Rutland donated.
All right. Yeah, okay, that makes sense somewhat. Repair the Rutland truck, what, I don't know, what is that, the Rutland truck, a pickup?
Yeah, you've probably seen it driving around town. It's a 1997 Ford F-350, and it's got a utility body.
Yeah.
The back, the floor for the utility body is rotted out, so we're going to weld a new floor. It's all stuff that we can do ourselves at the station and with the town mechanic.
Great, good. All right. So,
The only trouble, Chief, is we don't have the money.
yeah, that's the other.
Right. But you got to ask. If you don't ask, you never get.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we're trying to figure out something, but they could only take it from stabilization.
Right.
Gene, you want to give the chief some information?
I think I got filled in with the thought process of everything. So I think I'm good with where everybody is. I understand everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we?
So that, we can put it on for the annual town meeting, unless we get a donation or something. Because
Right.
we've only got 24,000 left in our free cash.
Right. But we are going to have to, and I know at some point we are going to have to start replacing our pickup trucks as well. I mean, they're coming up on, they're 36 years old. And it's getting difficult to get replacement parts for them.
Yeah.
So I know that's on the agenda as well. Like I said, we were fortunate we got the truck from Rutland, but it didn't work, so we have to stop using it to get work. And unfortunately, we don't have anything else. So, right now, if we have to go to the trash, we have to put the trash in the back of a fire truck or ambulance to drive it to the dumpster, and we don't have any way to move equipment from station to station. So we're using our fire trucks and ambulances as pickup trucks and SUVs.
Yes.
I think you should use the stabilization fund for it.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it's really
I'm
needed.
thinking that
I mean, it seems like it's more like an emergency at this point, and you don't have the free cash, so just take it out of stabilization, and hopefully we can just replenish the stabilization the next year's free cash.
Yeah.
I mean, the pickup truck, we do need that, but that's something that we can hold off on. I mean, it's not a dire need. I think once we have another vehicle and we can work on that Rutland truck, it'll be a perfect truck for what we need it to do. Like I said, we just right now, especially with Corona and what's going on, we send extra people with the ambulance because our people have to put on gowns and all the PPE that goes along with everything. So we send an extra person or two with the ambulance. So we use that pickup truck right now to respond with them. And then if they need an extra hand, those people will get on the ambulance and go to the hospital. And if they don't need the extra help, they come back to the station. So we do use that truck every single day on calls as well as moving equipment and, you know, all the other uses that doing inspections and stuff like that. So having that vehicle is pretty important to the department.
Because if we took it from stabilization, then we could replenish that, like Gene said, from free cash next year, or when we have our annual meeting. You know, it's just something we need to pay back to stabilization. So we're kind of borrowing from ourselves.
All right.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't ask unless we absolutely needed it, because I know the financial situations with everything going on with everything.
All right. Let's do it then. Let's do it for stabilization.
Let's do it.
Okay, make a motion.
All right, I make a motion on Article, what was it?
11.
11.
I make a motion, we have favorable action on Article 11.
Second motion.
Take it from stabilization. You want to add it?
Second.
Stabilization.
Okay. Favorable.
And Jessica, I know you're so super busy and everything, but how is the capital plan? I mean, is that in the works also? Are we keeping track of things there?
Yeah, I've been keeping track. Well, first I've been learning what was on our capital plan, and luckily, with Chief Rogowski has actually been great on getting grants to cover some of those items, and we just, through the CARES Act, we were just able to get a power load detector, which crosses that item off of the list as well. So we're definitely making progress, but it's going to need more attention, and that is one of the things that's going to keep me busy here. We're coming up on the end of our capital plan for this 5-year cycle.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much.
So that's a favorable vote for Article 11, with the money coming from stabilization.
Correct.
Right.
Do you all agree?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay. So that's taken care of. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now, have we covered everything?
3 and 14. Are we gonna? Do we have to vote on that, or do we wait?
Which one's that now?
Well, 3 and 14 are the last two.
So that 14 needs to be moved after 3. We've got to have, Josh could do that the day of the meeting. So we move 14 just after 3. And the motion then will have to on the 14 we'll have to okay.
Now, what we were saying before is that 25,000 is not going to be enough for a roof, and
Right.
You're
So it'll
expecting it to get a lot bigger.
There's the potential that it could be a lot more than 25,000. It all depends on if it's a sole proprietor, if we have to, there's a lot of different factors that'll go into it on how much it costs to replace the roof, what kind of condition the current roof is in, what can be reused, what needs to be replaced. So I'm waiting for the Council on Aging to get back to me on some more details on what that is going to entail.
But we could take, so it would have to be, would it be Article 3 that would have to change? Jean, can you help me?
Change what? Why do we have to change it? Article 3, you're gonna rescind the article, the previous article. You're gonna rescind, it's gonna be gone. And you're gonna take that $25,000 and you're gonna reappropriate it to the senior center roof. So you're gonna reappropriate that $25,000 in Article 14.
Okay, reappropriate Article 14. That's
And
what I
then
was.
if you need more later, you vote it in the next meeting.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so that looks like we've got everything covered. And I'll get it to you, Jessica, with all the votes.
But do we have to vote on that, Claire? Do we have to have a motion on that tonight, or we can do that before the meeting?
Well, we could do it before the meeting, because then, but it's not gonna matter if their figure comes out over. So we can vote on it
Yeah.
now,
Okay, go.
on those. So can
We
I
what?
have a? Well, Article 3 will stay as it is, right? And then it's Article 14 that we have to say we're reappropriating the 25,000 from Article 3.
Correct.
Is that what we need to do, Jane?
Yep. So
We
vote.
don't have to change the wording in Article 3.
Well, it's gonna rescind, so whatever it says, it's gonna be, the motion's gonna say you're gonna rescind the article from, what was it, 2017 article, whatever number it is, for 25,000. So you just need to do a motion and vote in favor of that, because that's just what it is, you're gonna rescind it. And then do a motion for Article 14 to appropriate the money that was rescinded in Article 3 to Article 14 for senior center roof.
Yeah.
So you need to vote on those two.
Yeah. Okay, so can I have a motion for Article 3?
I make a motion that the Finance Committee recommends favorable action on Article 3. To rescind the vote taken in 2017.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now I need a motion for Article 14.
Article 14, recommend Finance FinCom meeting favorable action for a senior roof replacement. Transferring 25,000 from this from Article 3 to Article 14.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So then we've taken care of those.
Beat that horse to death.
Yeah. That's over here. So now we, did you get your email from Jessica with the letters that go out to our department heads?
Yes,
Got the two?
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, we have to decide what we want to go in the letter. Now, I'd say, take a look over it and see what you think. If there's anything different, there's the one from 2020 and then the one last year for the 2021. This will be for the 2022. And you can look over the dates. We could maybe think about when, so that we'll have our next meeting. We'll meet before the special town meeting at the gym on the 21st at 9:30. And then December 3rd will be our next FinCom meeting, which we will go over these letters so that Jessica can get them ready to go out to the department heads.
So what was the idea that we take one of these? So one of them was from November 2018, and the other one shows a date of October 2019.
Yeah,
So
those are the last two letters that went out. And Jessica's new this year with doing them. These were what we had go out before. But if you can think of, if you think of something else that should go in there or corrections on it, or we try not to use the same thing. We try to make them a little different each year so they don't think it's just a boilerplate that we send out. Now, I'm not sure, do you have any budget forecast or anything, Jessica? I haven't really.
Not yet.
No.
Well, it looks like you already changed this. This one of them, the one that stated October 2019. Did we already start changing it? Because it's got a calendar dates of.
No.
Nope. I haven't
Nope,
changed
they
anything
haven't
yet.
been touched. She hasn't had them. These were done by Andrew. And we've got to change
Okay.
the dates. That's what I'm looking, when we should have them back in. This last one went out October, and we gave them till January 10th. That was quite a long time.
And the previous year also had the around January 10th or January 11th. So I think that second week of January seems about normal.
Yeah.
And it should be plenty of time.
So I don't, it's on the calendar for January.
January 11th would be that Monday.
Okay. So we'll change that one to the 11th anyway, so that we know. And we'll settle on a letter on December 3rd. So if you can look it all over, and then we can hash it over and see. So Jessica can take it. And I don't know if we should,
The wording looks better on the 2019 one. It's just sounded better, but.
yeah. Now,
Was there a shortfall? It says here the projection of the indicated estimate budget was a shortfall of 200,000. Though, it wouldn't be? We would use a different number when you change this letter.
Yeah.
So there is no shortfall, or do we estimate?
Well, that would be up
Jessica
to,
hasn't looked at it.
that would be up to the financial, team that we have to decide on that.
Right.
Oh, us.
I guess we'll have to have some team finance meetings.
Gene, Alex, and, our
Right.
administrator.
Oh,
How,
okay.
are you up for it, Gene?
That we still need to have.
Gene's not answering.
Oh, I'll blame her.
I'm trying to get through this one.
I don't blame her.
One done. I'm not thinking about 22.
All right.
Not till January.
That sounds
Well,
good.
that's when this will be.
If I have to run away between now and then, I'm gonna do it.
I just wanted to give you guys some thought too on the different departments that are listed on here. I don't know if we should have like the DPW come in earlier to talk to us, where there's such a big budget and they take quite a bit of our budget.
I think you should ask for earlier because he always misses the first date anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Good
That's
point.
true. And Ted, you offered to supervise them, right, with their budgets?
Supervise. Ooh.
Do
Oversee
you have
the
the
meetings and get
shirt with a
involved.
target on it yet?
What? You don't want to? I thought that's the one that you wanted to do.
I don't think supervised is the correct term on that.
Well,
I
what
think
would
you're
you
right.
say? Oversee. Get information. That's what we need to do is get information. But I know Ted had said he'd like to kind of oversee a little bit on the DPW to see what's going on and what's doing. And Jen has offered to,
First, they have to have a meeting scheduled. You have to schedule a meeting before you can attend it.
on the DPW.
Yeah.
Jen, do you have any preference as to what department you'd like to learn about?
I was to say I'm pretty free Monday or Tuesday nights, so as long as they meet those 2 nights, I'd be good.
Okay, well, we'll check them out, and on December 3rd, we'll figure out. So be thinking about what
Okay.
departments you might like to learn about. That's what we'll say, right, Brian?
Perfect.
Yeah, that sounds
We'll
cool.
learn. We'll learn about them.
Well,
So I
you
guess-
learn most when they come in with their budget, right? That's where you learn the most.
No,
What do we send along with this letter? So do we send last year when we did this, didn't we send a big spreadsheet with line items? Or do they develop that themselves?
they develop that themselves, but we do have forms for capital items that we attach to it. But that'll be what our meeting's on December 3rd. We start a new year.
Jessica, have you determined what form your budget's going to take? I mean, you're going to use what software you're going to use?
I know that Andrew had a certain software, but I don't know if you did you guys go through one full budget process with that, or was it started and then
It was complicated. It was difficult. And then we
Yeah,
switched over to
Yeah,
the simpler spreadsheet.
right?
Yeah,
We
have
don't have that anymore, Jessica.
I didn't think so.
No.
Do we
Yeah.
do we
We
send that
didn't pay
spreadsheet
for
though?
it this year.
Right. So we'll probably just stick with the simple,
the one that Heather used last time. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that
Right.
makes sense.
that's what I think too.
Yeah.
Keep it black and white. You know Andrew, he's always a tech savvy guy. He likes to stay ahead of the curve.
Boy, I guess.
Yeah, he was. I had a hard time following it. But Heather's, I thought Heather, whatever she used was good. And I'm sure she's left you all the stuff.
Oh
for it.
yes, everything. I have everything.
So that's good. That's what we'll go.
Good.
Well, you don't send that to the departments. You don't send that budget to the departments and say use this format.
Yeah, they get a copy of it. Or
Okay.
did you have them go in and do it online, or did she have them?
She had everybody submit their own, and then she compiled everything into one
Okay.
bigger
Yeah.
document.
So they have like the spreadsheet, and they fill it out, and then she put it into hers. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, I guess we can adjourn unless anyone else has anything they want to talk about.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Good night. Thank you, everybody.
Good one.
Good.
Bye.
Yeah, right on.
Thank you.